Ugh.
I saw some of those photos that you cherry picked. So
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday night hangover. And my God, it feels like a hangover today. Really didn't need that. Really didn't need that. That was not a good experience at the London Stadium today, as I'm sure you've all seen. So what we're going to do is go for a match review led by John. Then we're going to do the player ratings as we usually do. I think the Donkeys might be making an appearance tonight. What do you reckon?
I reckon so.
Yeah, it might be
a herd of donkeys.
Yeah, I think it could be. It could be. So look, on that happy note, let's make a start. John, do you want to take us through the first half?
Yeah, mate. So obviously the team that started was the same that started on Wednesday. So nothing changed there. But what did change was that we came even slower at the traps today. I think very much so from the off. We were on the back foot almost. And again, inviting the pressure on and wanting to take the game on the counter-attack to the away team, which we can't always do, and it's becoming really frustrating now. And we're starting to sound like a broken record, aren't we? Let's be honest about it. And the sloppiness began very early on. Diop was very sloppy and dispossessed very early on, 7th, 8th, 9th minute, and then it came to Leeds had a shot, edge of the box. It was quite a good save from Fabianski. They recycled the ball, and the ball went for Harrison to put them 1-0 up after 9 minutes. Yeah. We came alive a little bit for a split second, not for much longer though. But, the question for me is, why do we always have to wait till we go a goal down till we start sort of being a bit more proactive? But Leeds were on top, those pressing from the off, those putting us under immense pressure in every position, everywhere we got the ball. And I'll be honest with you, when that number 4 for them, is it Forshaw?
Forshaw, yeah.
Yeah. When Forshaw went off, I was quite relieved because he was popping it about and playing quite well. And that's a guy who's come through from like the low leagues as well. Go on, Gal.
He was dominating for sure. He was dominating in midfield, so it was a big plus. I mean, Lanzini was getting overrun, as we know, and it's quite a relief to see him go off. I was surprised, and as well, going back to that goal, the goal that they scored. I didn't have the luxury of a replay in the ground, but I just watched the replay. And when you look at the pathetic reaction to the first shot from 2 of our defenders, one of them being Soufal, and he basically put a half-hearted attempt in to shut the player down, and then turned his back as he shot. And it's just and that was the story for me of that entire back 4, maybe with the exception of Dawson, because we always give him a little bit of leeway. But I think they were all off their game today. It was a terrible performance. And Leeds, look, it's no secret the way Leeds play, right? They did the same thing to us up at Ellen Road earlier in the season, where they absolutely dominated us for the first 20 minutes, half hour, didn't they? Right.
I think they played a little bit differently today. The way that they played today, which was a surprise, they went very direct and they started smashing us down the wings. Now, obviously, we're stronger in the middle, even without Souček. I don't think I know that's the obvious thing to look at is we're missing Souček. Lanzini got overrun in midfield, which he did because unlike against Norwich, Dek sat deep. See, when you got Dek alongside Souček is a more capable defensive midfielder. Souček can play that role when Rice goes. Lanzini isn't really a defensive midfielder. He can play deep and he's effective, but quite often today, Dek was going time after time, and you got Lanzini left there up against 2 or 3 bodies. But initially, to start off with, they surprised us because they bypassed the midfield. They was just Soufal and Cresswell were getting blitzed. They were.
They were targeting their fullbacks from the off.
Yeah, they were. It was all coming down the wings.
Yeah, and by doing that, they was cutting out our centre midfield area, which is predominantly our strongest. Let's be honest, as we spoke about before we come on. But I mean, as that half progressed, it got into like the 20. They had to take off Forshaw. They took off another player who got injured a couple of minutes later. So they made 2 very quick changes in quick succession, and they already had a weakened team. And I thought, all right, we're 1-0 down. They've had to make 2 forced substitutions to make their team even weaker on paper. And I thought we got a chance of getting back into this. Now, we did start playing a little bit of football, and Tony Fornals played a couple of balls into Antonio's feet. There was one time where he span his defender. He made a fantastic run, played the 1-2 with someone, shot the ball, and it went out for a corner. And then from the resulting corner, I think Dawson was a little bit impeded by Rice, who jumped in front of him and missed it. And maybe Dawson should have scored, but maybe he wasn't expecting Rice to miss it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did get back into it. And then obviously from another corner, a couple of minutes later, Bowen got his head on the ball again to replicate another headed goal, as he got on Wednesday. So, we was a little bit happy, weren't we? We was a little bit, okay, we're back in this now. It's 1-1. We're not playing well, but it's 1-1 all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah.
More by luck than judgment. I mean, and I think that was the story of the game. Every time we came back into it, we were sort of thanking our lucky stars. And every time they went ahead, you were thinking, well, they kind of deserved it. It was poor. And there was also a corner where Dawson missed an absolute sitter as well, wasn't there? That was just before. And like I say, I think John was right, because obviously I hit the roof initially, but then John did, as he always does, leapt to Dawson's defence, and he was right. Rice was slightly obscure in his view, so you can give him a pass on that. But
he saw it late. Maybe he should have got it on target.
I still think he should have, personally. But if he does in training, Johnny buries that. He does.
Yeah, well, from where we were, which was basically right behind Dawson, you could see he goes up and meets the header really sweetly, and there is a whole goal frame to aim at, right? So it just looked like a bad header to me. He looked like he dragged it wide. It was just, we just couldn't hold on to it, though, could we? Every time we came back, Leeds.
No, and then, literally a couple of minutes after we scored from the corner, they managed to get a corner, and I think you've seen the replay back, Gal. Obviously, I was at the game as well, and Nick, you would have seen it. The corner came in, and what happened? Someone ducked.
Diop ducked. It was appalling. That was just comical. That was there to cap a brilliant half from Diop. That was one of the most inept centre half performances I've seen for a long time. He looked nervous from the off. It's like every time he got the ball, he was kind of digging it out of his feet. And I think you mentioned it earlier, John. He was putting Cresswell under pressure because he was playing him. He was playing the ball too fast or in the wrong position. He seemed to be panicking every time he get the ball. He got the ball, and they were targeting him. Leeds were targeting him.
John had an epiphany early on. I know we're going to go into the player ratings, but just because that made perfect sense. We've been blaming King Arthur for a little while for his left-back performances. But John, just give this alternative perspective that you.
Well, I'm not for the life of me saying this is true, but I'll say you could look at it if you looked at this impartially or from the outside looking in. Like everyone's been saying that Diop's been playing poor because he's got Arthur next to him, but he hasn't exactly set the world alight since Cresswell's come back, really. And today, every time, the ball would come out from Fabianski. Diop would give it to Cresswell. Cresswell would wait until the right winger, Rafinha, would be on him. He'd then give it back to Diop, who couldn't open his body up and play it out to the right for some reason, and would just pretty much knock it straight back to Cresswell, who had Rafinha, almost landing on top of him. It was just comical. It was so infuriating.
He looks so cumbersome now, Diop, doesn't he? He looks so cumbersome and clumsy. I don't ever remember him looking like that. And the only thing that I'll say is, right, I know you're going to go into it after, but I can't help it, right? He's been looking like this for a long time now, for many, many games. And it's probably got to the stage now where Moyes has thrown him in. And you could say, yeah, all right, we ain't got no other options. Well, I'm not being funny. We've had 15 days of a transfer market. To a degree, it was like Antonio. When Antonio was on that bad run, for 12 games, he's got no one to come in. It's like they're thrown under the bus. I don't know how Diop can come back out and play again now.
Can I?
Was that bad? It was that bad.
I just want to say one thing though, right? And maybe I was going to bring it up later, but I'm going to bring it up now. As bad as Diop was, right? And I'm going to say because I told you to, I had a couple of arguments over there today, and I'm not that sort of person, right? Yeah. As bad as he was, we know he was bad. I'm sure he knows he had a shocker. And I'm sure all the coaching staff know he had a shocker, right? Not a lot, but a small section of fans when he got subbed were booing him. Now, I'm going to say, whatever you might think, no matter how angry you get with a player, when they're wearing the claret and blue, I don't think you should be booing them, in my honest opinion. But that's neither here nor there with the performance.
John, we're top fucking four, mate. If we'd have got up, you don't do that to your players anyway.
You don't do it. We've done it. We've been relegated more often than not, and you don't do that, mate. I'm sorry.
That's what I mean. But you don't do that.
And it does look like his confidence has been shot to pieces, but that is not going to help anything. I know we're all frustrated, right? And I know we're all pissed off. Sorry, we're angry with losing, and we expected to win possibly, and all that. Whatever you want to say, but that to me is a little bit of a nail in the coffin. I just worry that there's a section of fans that are almost praying for the good old bad days or something. I don't know. It's like they can't wait to get on the back of people. And I'm on the back of it. I can't stand Yarmolenko, but I've never once booed the geezer on or off the pitch.
No. I don't know who in their right mind thinks that booing a player is somehow going to help. I mean, it's just
you did smash your front room up once, John. No, when he came on when you was watching it on telly.
We smashed the front room up. Absolutely. But I mean,
that's madness. That's madness doing stuff like that.
I'm sorry that's gone off topic a little bit, but it just came into my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. It needed a mention. I'll never. You should never boo your own players, but especially when you're in a position that we're in at the moment. I know that was an absolute shit display today, and it's an opportunity missed. But you don't do that. You don't do that.
Listen. I'm the most optimistic fan, and everyone says that and all that. But I know it was a crap performance. I'm gutted. I'm not going to stand there and do that. I'm not going to sit there and do that because I just don't see what does it achieve. He knows he's a professional, whether you like it or not. He knows he's had a shocker. He don't need to be booed off the pitch, right? Get him off the pitch, get someone on, get him out of the bloody firing line, whatever. But that ain't gonna. What's that gonna do? But that's neither here nor there. So getting back to the game, sorry. Obviously they went in 2-1 up, and really it could have been more if you think about the chances they had. They had a few chances, really. It probably could have been 3 or 4-1, and then you wouldn't have been able to question it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
it was a terrible half of football, a really terrible half of football. I've not seen defending like that for some considerable time. It wasn't just the defenders either; it was the midfielders. Especially I would say Vlasic didn't defend, Bowen didn't defend. Didn't help out Soufal either, because Soufal was just as in trouble as Cresswell was down the other side. And then you had the middle, you had, Lanzini, as you've already mentioned, Nick, sitting deep, getting absolutely murdered by multiple players, while Rice took it upon himself to take the ball forward.
Ruled in there, like I say, as good as Rice is, he ain't a better forward than Lanzini.
Well, he took the ball forward really well, and he always looks good doing it. He's commanding. Everyone loves to see it, but you can't do that and just forget about what's going on behind you. And that's sadly what happened in that half, and it continued in the second half, didn't it, John?
Yeah.
Well, it did, yeah. And obviously, they came out. There was no chance. There was no changes at halftime, obviously. But we come out and they were. I wouldn't say they was on top, but they were still pretty lively. But we grew into the game a little bit, and there was an opportunity that we created where I think Antonio. There was a long ball up. Antonio got it under control. Whether he meant it or not is another question. And he played in Fornals, who had a little bit of a shimmy in the area and made it 2-2. And all of a sudden, you're thinking 53, 54 minutes. I was looking at the clock and thinking we've got half hour to win this, because I really thought now this is our opportunity. We've got the goal early in the second half, which you would have prayed for at half time, and we're going to run out, not comfortable winners, but we're going to run out winners. But not long later, we know the comical goal that we gave away, for the third.
That was pretty amazing, John, because that what actually happened was Diop played.
It was embarrassing. That was so embarrassing.
Sort of hospital ball to Vlasic, but Vlasic must have known that he's got to get that ball. He's got to win that ball, but he didn't. He played half a challenge. The guy that was up his arse knocked the ball straight back in. At the same time, you had Dawson come across to try and cover, while Soufal stayed out wide, leaving a massive gap. And it was just comically large gap. I mean, the defenders couldn't have defended worse if they wanted to. And that and who's the player that got the hat trick?
Harrison. Yeah.
Well, it was a great finish, but you'd expect him to finish being on 2 goals already, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I've got to say on that one, I know a lot of people probably won't think the same, but Fabianski, he doesn't like coming off his line. He doesn't like coming out. He hesitated. He came out. He hesitated, and then he came out. So he didn't make himself big. It was a pathetic attempt from him. He made it so easy for Harrison. And like I say, I know even with the first goal, where Harrison's first goal, that came from Fabianski, saved it the first time, but then on the second attempt, he got his hands to it. He just couldn't tip it around the post. For me, yeah, like I say, we'll get onto the players after, but I want it. Fabianski was every bit as bad as the rest of them today. His distribution was shit. It was bad. It was terrible.
Did you see that piece of distribution where he got the ball and he kind of shaped to throw it out one side, changed his mind, shaped to throw it out the other side, and then he already wasted about 10 seconds, and then he rolled it out along the floor to someone. I mean, it was just comical. I mean, the guy just can't do it, can he? He cannot do it. Occasionally, he does a bit of good distribution, but I think it's kind of more luck than judgment.
Yeah. Well, he's not decisive in that moment. I think he's good fundamental. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's been one of our best keepers, but when you've seen the couple of appearances that Areola makes at the moment, now I've been saying stick with Fabianski. You know, I've been wanting to see more of Areola, but I can accept why you want to keep him. But at the stage I'm at now, I am sorry. For me, Areola is a better goalkeeper collectively now. I think he does everything better now at the moment.
Can I just interrupt you there, though, right? The defence today were comical. Keystone Cops, right? Literally, in my opinion. Yeah. Do you think Areola would have been able to stop us losing the game? Literally. You say he had more chance. I'm not saying he's a good keeper. I know he's a good keeper. But what I'm saying is
I think he could have done better on two of the goals, yeah.
I think in that situation,
I haven't watched the replays.
Yeah.
I think in that situation, like we saw with Areola at Spurs a couple of weeks ago, when you've got a nervy defence in front of you, the keeper's nervy as well. And I think that's what he was today. That's why he was indecisive.
But you need he's like the most experienced player on the pitch. You need him to sort of, if anything, settle people down. I don't think that's happening, is it? I'm not saying you can blame everything on him, but I'm seeing more flaws in his game now. And we've been kind of sort of really patient with him as a collective. You know, we've been sort of saying, you know, you got to stick with him. But I am sorry that it feels like in every game there's things that you can pin on him, and he does have great performances every now and then where his shot stopping's great and he's heroic and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we've got a better keeper on the bench.
Yeah. No, we probably have. But I just think that any keeper would have felt a little bit exposed playing behind that back four today.
Yeah. Do you think? Do you think that the confidence is, it's interesting, isn't it? Do you think the defence are more confident with a confident keeper, or do you think, you know what I mean? Who does it work better for?
I think so.
Do you think?
I think so.
Right,
so what I'm saying, you need to be confident in the keeper.
Right, but then the keeper needs to be confident in the defence. So it's a double.
It's a two-way street. Two-way street.
Two-way street. And to be honest with you, I don't think any keeper would be confident behind. I'm not sticking up for one in particular defender, but today, I mean, even Cresswell was poor today. But did Diop make him look poor? I don't know. Diop kept putting Cresswell in. He was. Yeah. I mean, Rafinha did have Cresswell, I thought, today, and you said it earlier, Gal. Rafinha did do a job on Cresswell. However, I do think that Diop was putting Cresswell in all sorts of problems. He was giving him the worst possible passes at the worst possible times.
Yeah,
he couldn't open his body up. Diop could not open his body up as a defender and play it right. And I haven't seen their second goal back, Gal. But because I looked obviously in the stadium, all I saw was what I thought was Cresswell, flat-footed, who let his player run. I didn't see that Diop ducked, and I still haven't seen it.
It was.
Yeah, no, that's what happened. And the third goal was very much it was Diop's fault as well. Diop and Vlasic, it was both their fault, but I'd give Diop the vote for playing the ball to Vlasic and then not being ready for it to come back. Terrible, absolutely terrible.
Can I ask you something as well? Because up to that point, right, you had probably one of the best performers that we had on the pitch from the first half. He was looking like back to his best again. Was Fornals. He was one of the few players. Was Fornals. His touches were brilliant. His incisive passing, really, really good. You know, obviously he scored that goal into the second half as well, so he took his form into the second half. Yeah. And then on 70 minutes, he takes off Fornals and brings off Yarmolenko. I was fucking raging when he did that. I couldn't work out why he took Fornals off for Yarmolenko. It made no sense.
I know you said on WhatsApp, at half time, you said Fornals was I think you called him terrific.
He was brilliant in the first half. Yeah.
I honestly, look, a lot of that happened down the other end, but I didn't see anyone on the pitch that was terrific in the first half for us. I didn't see it. I'll take your word for it. But he definitely started the second half very well, and he took that goal really well. And for probably 10, 15 minutes after that, he was really getting stuck in, really putting himself about. So I think it was a very strange substitution to take him off.
And it halted our momentum, because when he came off, we had a dip for about 10 minutes. We was in the ascendancy at that point.
Well, I don't know about that. We at 3-2, when they went 3-2 up, they nearly went 4-2 up. They had the free kick from Rafinha, right?
Yeah.
Hit the post.
Hit the post, yeah.
And then they had a goal disallowed to make it 4-2 again, right? So we were hanging on, and that goal, when you look at it, maybe shouldn't have been disallowed. I mean, it's very odd.
No, I'd have been fuming if it had been disallowed.
Yeah, the ball was going in, and it's touched a player on its way into the net on the line. Really, the player on the line didn't add anything to it at all, but they've given him offside.
That is as finicky as it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a very odd one, but we were really lucky not to go 4-2 down. Through one of those two, and that would have been game, set, and match, would it? And just amazing that we were still in it for with 10 minutes to go at 3-2.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. We had a few good chances, didn't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, did you see one right at the death, John?
The Bowen one. Have you seen the Bowen? It is. I love Bowen, but you'll probably never see a worse miss. You'll never see a worse miss than that.
It was Antonio.
I missed it. I missed it purely because I looked away. I saw it go toward Bowen, and I looked away and just thought it was in and started celebrating.
Oh, right.
Well,
so and everyone's gone. Everyone's put their hands on it.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, so Antonio's peeled wide on the left. He's put a cross in. It was a deflected cross. It's looped up. Bowen's coming in, and for some reason he's tried to cushion it in with his chest when all he's had to do is nod it in. And I can't for the life of me work out why he did that. It was a miss from 2 yards. It was fucking ridiculous.
It was actually more head height than chest height, wasn't
it? I know.
He's had a bit of a brainstorm there. God knows why Harry made that decision. It was poor, but a poor decision. And I think if we had got a point out of that game, it would have been a very undeserved point.
Oh, we didn't deserve it. And you know what? I think we all said it before the game, because we've had all this shit with games being called off. Because look at Arsenal the other day. They had one player with COVID and they had their game called off. Well, Leeds are decimated at the moment. They really are. They had a 15-year-old on the bench. And what I will say is they deserve that win today. And I will say it, full credit to them. They were better than us. The better team won today. Today they were better. They deserved it. So fair play to them.
They did. And the worst thing is, right? The worst thing is, I don't think they even had to play that well to beat us.
No.
Right? We were just that poor today. I mean, rather than them win it, we lost that game.
Yeah. No, you've got to give them credit where it's due. That's we did lose it 100%.
Yeah. If you play like that against anyone in the league, you could play like that against Norwich, right? You'd get beat.
Yeah. But I will. But that Leeds team. Why I say that was because we're fourth. We've had another chance, to sort of put some daylight between us and the other teams that are chasing, that have got games in hand on us. And you know what? That is a massive opportunity missed, because as good as Leeds played today, we helped that happen. We made them look that good, and I still say it now. Probably 17 of the teams in the Premier League would have beat Leeds today. They would have. When you look at the state of that team and the squad, I mean, that they lost 2 more players, didn't they? Just at the start of the game, they were dropping like flies.
Within 20 minutes,
within 20 minutes. So there is no excuse. Oh yeah, boo hoo, Suchek ain't playing. Do you see how many fucking players they had missing? Oh, but Suchek could have been playing with a 1. What? No, we should have had enough. They had Calvin Phillips missing. They had the equivalent of us. They had the equivalent of us missing Declan Rice and Antonio, because Bamford's not there as well. So we can't complain about having the odd player missing. We should have done a job on them today. We have.
We can't, but I do think that Suchek in the middle would have made a massive difference today. I do.
Yeah, I know. Everyone would have turned. I know. Chris Soufal would have turned into Superman. Vlasic would have got a £50 million player.
You know what I mean.
So facetious.
You know what happens, Nick. It's a sport. The nerves fucking go through the team. The nerves went through the team today. That back four were just all over the shop. The midfield weren't helping them out. They were exposed. I think if it is all it needed was a few more calm heads in that team.
I agree. It would have helped. I agree it would have helped if Souček would have been there. But would we have played better? I don't think we would have played any better.
Calm it down. You need senior players to calm it down when it's going like that, and no one calmed it down. It was just nervous.
It was frantic. It was frantic. It was full of errors. And I tell you what, I mean, we can slag off Fabianski's distribution all we like, right?
Yeah.
But the distribution from two players of that back four specifically, right?
None.
Soufal,
He was as bad as Diop today. In my mind, Soufal was as bad as Diop today.
No, but every time the ball bounced up, Soufal wasn't bringing it down. He was skying it up in the air. I'm like, calm down a little bit. Diop couldn't play a 5-yard pass to anybody. It was bobbling along. It was like it was nerve. He looked like he had been shot to pieces. He couldn't even do a 5-10-yard pass, right? Dawson, we know he can't distribute. He knows he can't distribute. So you don't expect anything more from him, right? And Cresswell was just overrun with Rafinha. And unfortunately, Cresswell had a lot to deal with trying to cope with Diop, basically putting him in poor positions constantly, time and time again. So we can say Fabianski has got back, but the whole back four and the whole back 5 unit today's distribution was shocking.
Terrible. It's got I think the carrier pigeon must have been late to Australia. Look, Norwich could cost Everton their manager with that win over him. He's gone. He's gone, Neil.
Yeah.
When was that? Was that today or was that yesterday?
It was today.
It was today. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
So Benitez is available.
Yeah. I heard Geordie's asking for it.
You'd have him as well, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't.
I just think that we never looked like we was going to win that game at any point. Even when we got our goals back, Leeds didn't allow our towels to come up. And that's the thing, right? I'm going to give them immense credit. However, we know for the last 2 seasons how they've been playing in the Premier League. They play that gun-ho, energy, high-level press. Why weren't we prepared for it? Who do you blame? The manager must have prepared them players for it during the week. He's not an idiot. He watches all the games as we do. So we can blame the manager till the cows come home. But the work ethic didn't seem to be there.
Did you hear his post-match presser? The first thing he said, "Well, it is an excuse." He said, "But we've played one more game than them." That was he said, "But yeah, it is an excuse, and I'm going to use it." No.
Yeah. Well,
I am sorry. The team that we was playing, he did. The team that we was playing against. I'm sorry, and again, I will keep on saying it. If squad depth is a problem, if we're then get some more players then. Get some more players, please. That's all I'm saying. If there's a problem, get some more players.
Yeah, but you're blaming the manager for the lack of West Ham buying players. You don't know what he's doing.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying we can't keep on saying we can't blame. We're in January now. We're 15 days in. If squad depth is a problem, get some fucking players in. Sorry for swearing.
Should we go through some of these comments?
You doing it, Gal? You want to do it?
Oh, well, you can go for it if you want, John. Go on.
No, if you need to, go on. You got your glasses on there. Go on. Yeah.
All right, let's go through. I haven't seen the stats. It looked like Leeds were. Yeah, definitely. Dylan's like the Southampton game all over again. Yes, it was actually, and that's the thing, right? Every time we touch that top 4, like a few weeks ago after the Southampton game, we all gave up on top 4, didn't we? After that, and then we pulled ourselves back into the top 4 again, and we started to believe. And then we start to believe, then we go and put in that performance against Leeds. We should know better.
We should know better. Know better.
Right. I think Rice got a slight touch on it before it got to Dawson. Oh, right. Okay. Did he? Right. Okay.
I must admit, Gary, I have been frying these up as we've been going along.
All right. Let's go through. There were a few on there. Dawson and Diop contribution was so poor. Aimless passes. Yeah, the aimless passes. No long balling it up to Antonio all the time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Which was bad.
He didn't have his best game. He spent more time on the floor than he did in his feet. Bless him. He's constantly looking for a foul, wasn't he?
Yeah. Shockingly individual. Yeah, it was a bad day. Let's go through. Where is Alex Crowell? That's something that I'd like to know as well. Where is Alex Crowell? How can Alex Crowell not even get into that team when You know, probably the second choice to play that holding role would have been Noble. Noble's injured, so then the third choice must be Crowell, surely.
But I said to you within 10 minutes of watching that game, watching Vlasic, because don't forget me wrong, I've been supporting Vlasic, by the way, but I watched him for 10 minutes today, and I said 4 nails left, 4 nails left, Crowell in the middle next to Rice, put Lanzini in the number 10. Because we was, unfortunately, Vlasic today was a passenger, wasn't he? He was.
Yeah, it's an interesting point from Bonnie Hammer about, Rice is a great CDM. He's, when he's going forward, I think, look, in a sort
if he's got Souček next to him, it's fine. Not when he's got Lanzini next to him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Outfought, outworked, outclassed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, no one's saying anything other than they deserve the points today. And when I come away from a game like that, I'm gutted when we play well and we lose and we deserve more. Today we didn't deserve more. So
it's not really acceptable, though, is it, DJ Russie B? Today it's not. That we really ain't that.
No, it's not about being. It's not about being Nick. It's not about being acceptable. It's about being honest.
Yeah,
they were a better team.
No, he's right. I completely agree with him.
I think we all hope Eric's right, and there'll be a new centre back in this one window, hopefully along with a striker. Because look, if anything, Antonio put in a shift today, as he always does, right? It wasn't great, but he always puts in a shift. But that guy must be, I swear he was treading water for the last 20, 30 minutes. He was knackered.
Well, according to ITK sources, Dawson and Antonio have been carrying injuries for the last week in these games. Apparently so. They're both carrying injuries.
Yeah. If Yarmolenko and Masuaku the answer, what's the question?
Yeah,
this is
completely agree.
This is a good point from Black Country Emma, and that is Rice reminded him of Scotty Parker. I mean, absolutely, that's exactly what he used to do, isn't it? To surge forward and take the team with him. It was just like all our flaws came together at once. Yes, they did. Bowen should have headed it. Yes, he should. Absolutely ridiculous.
Getting back to the substitutions, why is it always Yarmolenko and Masuaku?
I don't know. I don't know whether because someone mentioned this on a podcast I was listening to the other day, where he said that it's all Yarmolenko has to do. Even when he comes on for 10 seconds, he gets his appearance bonus. Yeah, and perhaps that's keeping him. Someone said it tongue in cheek that perhaps that's keeping him happy. Happy to be sitting on the bench.
That's it. Have a break from the comments a minute, Gal, because you're only about halfway down.
No, I'm nearly at the end now. Go on.
We'll throw. We've had a couple of videos sent in from part of our sort of Claret and Booze resident team. Regular guests that we have. Dave Hurst and Chris Miles. So I'm going to put Dave up first. It's a very short video. He sent me this directly at the end of the game. He weren't very happy, so I'm going to throw this up now.
I'll keep my review short and sweet. Fucking woeful. How we can't string two passes together, God only fucking knows. Really pissed off. Not good enough. I don't buy into, we've played loads of fucking games. That was just pathetic today. Really fucking pissed off.
That's exactly how I felt at kickoff, didn't you?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. He took the words right out of my mouth. To be honest, it was one of those games where it's just you like I touched on earlier. When we go and we play a game and we lose, but we deserve more, I come out feeling robbed and feeling a little bit hurt and stuff like that. When we don't turn up like today, I feel just a little bit pissed off. I feel like a little bit fed up.
I agree.
A bit cold to it as well. You know what I mean? Like we didn't deserve any more. So yeah,
that's it. Right, one. Well, we've got two more. We've got Chris. He was so incandescent with rage. He sent two through to us. Yeah, not really rage.
Another point is Vlasic has gone backwards. The guy takes seconds to think about what he needs to do. In fact, it takes longer to get to the ball than I'm going to cross this road. I like this crossing over there, and you can see why he was pulled, but I think I've made my mind up. After a few games of improvement, he's not going to make the grade for us. Anyway, signing out, back in a bit. Well, lads, I'm not sure what to say about that. That was pretty bloody tense at the end. Diop really needs a rest. Can't wait till we get Zuma back. Bowen so unlucky at the end, but magnificent performance. But Leeds utterly and absolutely played us. They played us totally. They marked us. They closed us down. It was quite shocking how they knew what we were doing, and they deserved the win. Should have been 5-3 possibly. Don't know about that VAR rule off for them, but looks a bit unlucky. Anyway, I've done my 30 seconds worth. I'll speak to you later, boys.
That was longer than 30 seconds, Chris.
It was. Cheers for that, Dave and Chris.
Yeah,
That was good. But yeah, go on,
Cheers.
get back to that Vlasic point, Gary.
Yeah, I think that Vlasic point that Chris made is absolutely right. I think he regressed today. He's made a couple of games where he's looked a little bit better. One where he looked close to good, actually. He looked really good against Spurs, and he looked great in another couple of games after that. And yet, last game he started to dwell a little bit longer on the ball. Today, he did nothing in the attacking third at all. And that is, after all, what he's there for. I expected more from him. I was really disappointed. Maybe, Moyes saying, he got his excuses in early after the game and said they were tired. Perhaps they were. And perhaps Vlasic struggles with playing so many games in a short period of time. I don't know. I wouldn't write him off just yet. But I'd say that performance today was not promising. And also, he does... I know we made a bit of a joke out of it a few games ago about him going down. He does go down looking for free kicks. And once today, he went down looking for a free kick. The referee didn't give it. He's there waving his arms around. And the guy he's supposed to be marking is off up the pitch with a ball.
Yeah. No. What did you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the problem, right? And this is what you're going to get across the whole nonsense of it all. You're going to get people coming out with "I told you so, right? I've never sat here as a West Ham fan and wanted anybody who pulls on the shirt to be anything other than good for the team, right? No. Whether that be Ben Rama, Vlasic, Dawson, Diop, anyone, right? And all I was ever saying originally, I used to say, Vlasic, we need to see what he's about. That money spent on him. Ben Rama wasn't on form at that time. Give him a look in, right? Coincidentally, a few games before Benny goes off to AFCON, he started playing really well again, I felt, and scored a few goals.
Yeah,
he did. And Vlasic, we thought, was being bedded in quite well. He was coming on for 15, 20 here and there in the last few games and looking quite good. But I sort of agree with Chris. I'm starting to think, like, I know it's early doors, it's going to take a long time for him to step up into what he needs to be a Premier League player. And I think what you said, Gal, is 100% true. He goes down far too easy. You might win those sort of free kicks in European leagues elsewhere, but you're not going to win those sort of free kicks here generally. So he needs to be told that, you've got to stand on your feet a little bit more and not look for everything left, right and centre. Because one thing West Ham fans can't stand is petulance. And if he's standing there throwing his arms around rather than getting up and chasing back and trying to win the ball, then he ain't going to become a fan's favourite anytime soon. That's all I'm going to say about that.
No, that's it. I agree. And like I say, I think for it to be a forward player in the Premier League, to be an effective forward player, to be part of that front three, you've got to have some overwhelmingly good ability, whether that be physical strength like Antonio, dribbling ability, great passing, decision-making, shooting. To be quite honest, I, even on his better games, he looks like he's a good player, but I don't see anything outstanding from him. He's not amazingly quick. He's not amazingly strong. I think if he goes up against a fullback who's got him for pace and power, who's going to be most fullbacks, but if we're being honest, I don't think he ain't going to get past them. He ain't going to roast anyone. So I'm not writing him off either. We need him to come good. We spent a lot of money on him, and that's the reason why we support him as well, because you need him to come good.
It's like Grant said. Vlasic keeps saying that his best position is through the middle.
I think it would be though, Gal, because if you look at Fornals is a slower player. Fornals is better when he plays central. Vlasic might be the same, but I can't see him ever getting there. He ain't going to knock Lanzini out the middle now, is he? Lanzini's a better player.
No. But it's his decision making and the way how quickly he moves the ball on. He slows the game down. And when you're trying to play a counter-attacking game like we are, you can't have people who dwell on the ball for so long, can you?
No, not at all.
That was happening a lot today when he was getting the ball, and Antonio was looking for him to play in a quick pass, and he wasn't giving it quick enough. And I could see quite quickly, Antonio was getting quite annoyed with him slowing down the quick pass, what Antonio wants, sliding it through or whatever you want to call it. He weren't doing it quick enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. So look, I think we've been through most of the comments. Let's should we go and do the beloved player ratings?
Yeah. Go on, let's get on with it.
This should be
Should
fun.
be fun.
Get your donkeys out. Get your donkeys out. Votes for the donkey. Vote for the donkey in the chat.
Yeah. Well, no, we go player by player again. I mean,
Yeah,
let's start with the goalkeeper Fabianski. John, what was your thoughts on him?
I haven't seen the goals back, Nick. So obviously you've seen them in more detail than me. Obviously watching it on the telly. I do agree. He did hesitate for the third goal. Was it the third goal? Yeah, he did sort of hesitate. I saw him come, stop, and then go again. Was he an average 6 out of 10? Probably for me, it was a low 6, maybe a high 5. But I think based on it all, I think I'm going to go 6. Just
I'll go 6 as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Nick's gone.
Has he gone?
He's took our player ratings and left.
We've lost Nick, and the player ratings have just gone.
We've lost Nick, the player ratings, and the donkeys.
That was me. Sorry. It's back. Coming back. Don't know what happened.
He wasn't happy with their 6. He wanted to give Fabs a 4.
Yeah. Fabs a 6. All right. Well, I would have gone 5, but that's fine. We'll go 6. We are a democracy.
Did you storm out? Did you storm out just then?
No. Me interweb dropped. Me interweb. Right. Okay.
Let's get fun there, innit? Because we're gonna have a few arguments. We're gonna have a few heated debates.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Alan there. Look, hang on, Alan. 5 for Fabianski, conceded 3 in distributions.
Yeah, I said like a high 5.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
give him a 5 if you want. I don't mind.
He was poor. I don't think he did anything good. I've got to be honest, but
go on, mark him down. We might as well mark down the old back 5. Go on.
Yeah, I'll put 100%. That was below average, weren't they?
Yeah.
Don't forget, 6 is average, 7 is a good game, 8 is a very good game.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So Cresswell.
Well, look, I don't think he was the worst of the back 4, but he was. I'd give it. Rafinha had him on toast. I don't know how much of his contribution was down to the bad contribution of Diop, so I'll give him the benefit of that and give him a 5.
Yeah, but unfortunately, when Cresswell is exposed defensively against someone who's really, really quick, he's not quick himself. He's going to get roasted.
He doesn't have that attribute of speed, does he? So he can't help that. He can't help that.
No, and look, Rafinha is a very good player.
Yeah, he is.
Rafinha is a very good player. So anyway, right, this bloke Soufal, I thought he was bad. I mean, for me, I think Soufal for me. What were you in the chat? What were your ratings for Soufal? Because I didn't see anything.
You know what? Soufal was that bad for me. I was actually calling for Johnson to come on at half time.
Yeah,
I could just see Soufal was so poor. Soufal and Vlasic, I think, should have been pulled at half time. Yeah. Soufal for me, since he's come back from his injury, whatever it was, he hasn't been the same. He hasn't been the same player. He's got away with it a little bit today. He couldn't get away with it because they was on him like on it like a car bonnet, as we say. He had no time. He was poor. He was hoofing things, slicing things. He was terrible today, and it's horrible to say. Yeah. I don't remember him once interlinking in the final third of Bowen like he has done for the recent games.
No, not at all. Also coincides with his pay rise, just as well. He's dropping form.
I would.
The
common number in the chat is 4, and that's what I would give him. I'd give him a 4.
I think a 4,
Right. Okay. Let's do Captain Fantastic Dawson. Go on. What would you give in Dawson today? I think for me it would be a 5 because I can't mark any of them higher than that.
He doesn't deserve any more than a 5.
He don't deserve any less either.
Not for me. No, he doesn't deserve it.
I don't think no. Again, I think I really truly believe this, right? I truly believe he's become like the easy target, and it really annoys me. He was not the worst of them not today. He wasn't great. I mean, no. Claire said, but Claire hates him anyway because she really Claire secretly fancies him, right? So to hide the fact she lusts over him, she just always horrible about him, right? I don't know. I don't remember Dawson being at fault for any of the goals, in my opinion. All right, that's not just about the goals we conceded. There's other styles of it. But there were times, like you had to go before we come on, Nick. You was going, how dare Dawson be marauding forward with the ball?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, and I saw Diop do it as well. When we're exposed as we were in that game repeatedly, I've never seen our centre backs maraud forward so much. And I was both doing it. You know, he was like a centre forward in the end, Dawson.
Well, he was in the end. He was through him up front, but
I don't think. Listen, he wasn't convincing. There was one ball where it was. I don't even remember this, John. I think it was in the second half where I think Fornals played the ball to him. He was standing in the centre half position, and someone played him the ball out on the right back position, and he had to run across and get it. And then he played it.
That was Fabianski again.
It was Fabianski, and then he played it to Rice and put Rice in trouble. Yeah, so he didn't cover himself in glory, but I wouldn't say he was the worst. So I'd give him a 5.
Yeah,
you give him. All right, okay.
I don't think he was worse than.
No, that's fine. That's fine. He was below average, but that's fine.
Take into account.
Yeah.
You got to take into account the capabilities, the perceived capabilities of the player, right?
No, we don't. We score him based on their performance. That's what a match rating is, Gary.
All right.
Because that's like you going on the pitch and having a really shit game, but us giving you a 10 because.
All right, give him a 4 then.
Yeah. So you've got to. You can't take all that into. You've got to give him a match rating on his.
I'm not taking that into consideration. But we've give Fab a score and Dawson a score. You've been like Judge Judy and overruled us.
No, I haven't.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, I'm going to save my special score for Diop.
Can I just let people know that me and Nick have fallen out, kissed and made up 5 times today? So we're
5 times.
Having a bit of a sketchy relationship.
Right. What I'm going to say as well, we are because the donkey's been it's been in high demand today. So I think anything lower than a 5, they're getting a donkey. Yeah. So Sufal is getting a donkey today. Yeah, I'm sorry.
He deserves a donkey.
Fuck. What have I done?
Donkey's moved the pitch. You're the donkey.
Nick,
he's not having it, the donkey. Look, hang on. Yeah, Sufal's getting a donkey. There you go.
Yeah, I would be tempted to give Diop a 3.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair.
Sufal was terrible, but Diop was worse.
Yeah, 100%. He was the worst player on the pitch for me.
Yeah.
So Dylan's gone 2. Bloody hell, that is low.
But Dylan, you could have a point there.
There was one point in the second half we pulled it back to 2-2, and the ball came through to him. He was in his position at the back, halfway line. No one around him. He hoofed it 50 foot in the air for no reason at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing.
And there was a time in the second half where a ball was coming to him in the air. He had all the time in the world to bring it down. But rather than face the oncoming Leeds players, he took the easy option and headed it. And he just headed it to the opposition. He was just doing that sort of stuff all day long, taking the easy way out.
Yeah, 100%. Right, now I've changed these round because my observation of that game was Lanzini was sitting deep and Rice was playing in what should have been a Lanzini role as they played against Norwich. And I think that did leave Lanzini exposed because he hasn't got the physicality and athleticism to do that. What's that?
It's not how it started, Nick. In the first half, it started with Lanzini playing alongside Rice.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's fine. But he was deeper. He was deeper a lot more than what I was comfortable with. Put it that way.
Oh yeah, he was. But I think Fornals was playing in the middle, in the hole between he was supposed to be playing in the hole between the two wide players.
That's fine. But anyway, look, let's give Lanzini a score.
I don't think he was good today, if I'm honest with you, mate.
I'll probably would go 5 or a 6 for him today.
I'd say 5. Yeah. There's very few average performances today, isn't there?
Yeah,
in that role. I don't think it was a right role for him. I think he's wasted there. I've got to be honest. But you can't, like I say, you've got to base it on the performance. Fornals, what would you give him? Like for me, I would for his time on the pitch, I'd give him a 7, especially with a goal as well.
He scored a goal. He was right. He scored a goal. He was busy in the first half. I'd personally say late sixes, 7
Yeah.
for anyone today is hard to come by.
I mean, in that first half, if you remember the lovely slide rule pass for Declan Rice when he went through it in a acute angle, should have cut it back to Bowen. That was Fornells. That lovely bit of skill on the other wing where he twisted that defender inside out, put another cross in, and there was good moments from Fornells. I think he played well and he was combative as well. I think if anyone deserves a 7, it's him.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, late 6s and 7s. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Go on, Judge Rinder. Go on.
No, go on. I'll let you two go. Go on.
I'm joking. 7.
No. Look, I think 7 is going to be 7's going to be the man of the match, isn't it?
For our team.
For us.
Yeah.
Rice, I'd give him a 6 because he done half a job today.
Yeah, and like I say, he probably played well individually, but he didn't do what was best for the team. Whether that was down to instruction from Moyes or not, I don't know. But
he was fantastic going forward. But
yeah,
you know, you can't just whether he switched off or not. I don't know whether he switched off or that was under instruction, like you say. I don't know, but he did neglect the defensive side
today. He did. He seemed to. Right, let's give Vlasic a score. Bless him.
I think
I'll give him a Soufal style 4. He weren't as bad as Diop, but he was
ineffective, wasn't he? He was completely ineffective.
Yeah, totally ineffective.
He was a passenger, as they say, totally a passenger.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Donkey.
Free donkey. This is not a good look.
3 donkeys. It's not good, is it? That is not good. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
Okay, Bowen. Considering that fucking miss at the end, what would you mark him? No,
had he scored that, he scores that, he's getting an 8. Right? He misses it, like a pivotal chance.
It's a 6 for me. I'm marking him down.
He loses a point for me. So he would have gained a point from 7, and now he's lost a point. So for me, it's 6.
Yeah, no, I agree. 6. He was average today.
Yeah. I don't think that was helped by Soufal on behind him, but
he didn't help Soufal, and Soufal didn't help him. Right? They didn't work well together today. They were terrible down that side.
No. I think, like we said though, they both didn't help each other on left and right wings. Both Vlasic didn't help out Cresswell, and Bowen didn't help out Soufal, and vice versa. But let's be honest, Leeds just did a job on them. That was it. That was the be all and end all. We couldn't.
Yeah, there was too much space. Yeah, there was too much space between them. Right, we were playing the high press, and the fullbacks seemed to be sitting deep. A lot of the time. So when Soufal or Cresswell got the ball, they didn't know where to go with it, or they had no option.
Yeah, no,
that's it. That's it. Right, Mickey. What are we giving Mickey?
Well, all the effort in the world, but ran out of steam with 30 minutes to go. Probably not his fault. I'd give him a nice safe 6.
6 average performance for him.
He set up Fornells.
And he didn't
have a lot to work with again. He didn't have a lot to work with.
It's a high 6 for me but it is a 6 because, like I say, but yeah, you're right. He did. He set up that goal. You've got the obviously the cross at the end as well for Bowen that Bowen should have put away. But no, I think a 6 is a fair score. It weren't his best game, and I know people have really got to be in there. But Moyes has got to get fucking someone, get a couple of players in here because I'm not being funny. These players are being run into the ground, and fans are going to turn on them.
Mate, Nick, I'm telling you, mate, I had another argument over there before my other argument over there because a couple of people sitting next to me, the one game a season wonders who turn up every now and again. Yeah. We were just berating Antonio from the offset, right? And I was just looking at him and I was just so angry because I'm a big defender of work rate, right? If you've got nothing else, you've got work rate. And we can say we want a striker, but what's happening at West Ham is fans' anger at the board, Moyes, whoever, not buying a replacement striker for we know who,
Antonio.
They take it out on Antonio because it's the easy option and they want to prove their disgust at and that's the problem. And it's and he's being hung out to dry, both physically and in terms of how well he's done for West Ham. And I'm not defending him. If he's had a bad game, he's had a bad game. I'll give him a bad score. But he's hanging him out to dry.
Nothing wrong with his work rate. Nothing wrong with his work rate at all today. I thought he worked really hard, and he's virtually set up an equaliser at the end as well, hasn't he? The only reason I'm giving him a 6, and this is probably not his fault, is that he completely ran out of steam for the last half hour. Yeah. But then he still set up the goal at the death, so he didn't give up trying, did he? So
he's probably got Antonio has probably got the hardest job in the entire team. He plays up front on his own against big fucking centre backs. He's being used as a battering ram. he ain't. He was in terms of service. He's feeding off scraps. He's more of a provider than anything else. You know, he rarely when you do give him a good chance. When you do give him a good chance, he scores. He proved that against Palace. You know,
Yeah.
he's all right. He's a good finisher if you give him the chance. He ain't the best striker in the world. We know that, but he's all we've got, and I think he's doing his best.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking today, and I don't really want to say this out loud, but I will. You know what I was thinking today when I was watching Soufal? I was thinking he looks like the £5 million player he was supposed to be.
Yeah. It does. It looks like he's got fucking separation anxiety because his best mate ain't on the pitch. That's what.
Yeah,
something
like that. Yeah. No, I know it's unfair. It's an unfair thing to say because it can be a cracking.
Gary, I think Johnson is a better. I think Johnson now because Johnson's a future as well. Also, you know, Johnson, there's that his contract's up in the air now as well. I think we've got to start sort of maybe bedding him into that first team because I'm not. Look, I know Soufal was a very good right back. He is, but as John said, his form ain't been right for a long time. It was good against Norwich. We can't forget that. Just one game ago, he got a very good score. But Bowen was superhuman on that day, wasn't he? Bowen was he was ridiculous.
And you can't expect when you're playing these games thick and fast. So there is an element of truth in what Moisey said, right? And that is that playing a midweek game when you've got a high intensity game sandwiched either side of it against this team that no one wants to play against in Leeds, right? That is going to take its toll on the team. And I think it definitely took its toll on the team today. Right. So I don't want to make excuses for them because it was a horrible performance. It was a horrible performance, but they did look tired even at the offset.
All right. What we're going to give Arthur and Yarmo just a five each.
Yeah. So they didn't do anything to warrant a 6, did they? They were
no.
Apparently, Yarmolenko's absolutely livid. Yarmolenko's livid. Apparently,
he's livid about what?
He had to play 20 minutes of football. We couldn't believe it.
He weren't happy.
He gets paid by the minute.
Livid.
Yeah.
Livid he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
think,
well, that's that anyway.
Right.
So a man in the match. Who's your man in the match?
If you take it on score, it'd have to be Fornals, wouldn't it? But I don't know. What do you reckon, John?
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
It is a difficult one. Should there be a man?
Yeah, there has to be for us. It was a.
We all look for different things, don't we? We all look for different things. I mean, man of the match is a struggle for me. Honestly, I couldn't pick anyone particularly. If I'm honest.
Yeah.
Let's go with the high score then.
Honestly.
Let's just go with the high score.
Yeah, we'll just go.
I think it's a fair thing to do, isn't it? It's a fair thing to do.
Right, that's that. Let's get rid of that screen. I'm sick of looking at them. Right.
Yeah.
Shall I go through some of the comments?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah,
do that. Go
on, John.
Go on.
Yeah, Hammerhead says, "What a West Ham performance that was."
Definitely was.
It was.
He also gives Rice the man of the match, only player that picked the game up by its neck and actually tried to push. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did more forward as he's been doing it.
It was brilliant going forward. It was brilliant going forward, but no one knows what happened to his defensive duties. Was that on instruction that he did that? Because Lanzini was left there to shoulder the burden, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look, Nigel has got a point, as Nigel is like the most sensible fan, among us. He really is. But look, at the end, we missed out on Champions League last year by a few points, right? This is one of those games where you're going to hope that we don't look back at the end of the season, miss out on Europa League even by 2 points, and look back at this game and think, well, you got. You know what I mean? We're 15 days into a window. Moyes has got to stop sitting on his hands. If it ain't Moyes, if it's Sullivan, I don't care who it is. They've got to stop sitting on their hands. We need, at the very least, we need a centre back. Even when Zuma comes back, we need a centre back in.
Nick,
another one.
You know, Nick. There's only one more game before the end of January. That is against Man United next week. There's one more game. So really, what you're saying, listen, I don't think it's important we get someone in this week, but it's important we get some in by the end of the window, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's one game. If we bring a player in this week, he ain't going into the Man United team anyway, is he?
No. Well, it depends. I mean, if you look at the Villa signings, Digne and Coutinho, they was in 2 days after being signed.
Yeah, it's not Moyes' style. Mind, he did that with Zuma, didn't he? He did that with Zuma. Put Zuma
If
straight
they're
in.
good enough, they go in. And Lingard was the same. But yeah, go on, John. Anyway,
Go on.
Hang on, sorry, put me off there. I was saying who's Lingard. So Nigel also says Bowen's miss was as bad as Diop's decision.
Yeah, it was.
And Vlasic. Yeah, it's very right. Very right. I don't disagree with that. You know, I think
terrible weather.
I think Jeff's talking about Antonio. He was confused, couldn't work out what Lanzini was doing behind him. So I think he's saying that Antonio was a little bit lost by what Lanzini was doing. I don't think Lanzini was great today, Nick. I know you're a big advocate of him as I am as well. But today he was a bit poor.
I don't think that's the right. Because I think he's wasted where he was played.
No, but that's what I mean. It seems odd that we would go massively change who plays where from 3 days ago. That's what you know. You never. Well, we've got another one here. Trevor YouTube says Rice needed a proper defensive midfielder next to him to cover him when he went forward. Krause situation baffles me. We're never going to get to the bottom of this Krause situation, are we?
Well, look, it's very simple. If he plays a certain amount of games, everybody knows that he's got a clause in his contract that says once he's played a certain amount of games, we have to sign him for 18 million. Moyes has clearly looked at him and gone, nah.
Can I say something though? If that was the case, why did he give him 5 minutes against Watford? That was a waste, wasn't it? Of an appearance. Why did he bring him on then?
Well, yeah, but I think it's quite a few. I think he's quite a way away from that.
Well, if he's quite a way away, why not put him in today then?
Yeah, it's true.
What I'm trying to say is you can't have that argument and then go, but he'll give him 5 minutes at Watford.
It's inexplicable. It doesn't make any sense why he wouldn't have put him in there today.
He obviously doesn't fancy him as a player. It can only be as black and white as that, and we'll never know because I can't judge him. I've never seen him play before or since he's come to us.
We haven't seen enough of him, really, have we? To make a
I can't judge him, but Moyes does in training every day.
Yeah.
I thought he was good in that Man U game that he played. That's the only time I can remember him playing.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a shame now. It's a good opportunity today. But look, at the end of the day, you know, we are, I suppose, thinking about it in a more positive sense. It is just one game. You know, we could potentially, if we bounce back and we beat Man United at the weekend, this game's long forgotten, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we can. I think we can do that. You know, we're all going to be up. You know, all the players are going to be up for the Man United away game. You know, they will be. Souček will be back, recovered from COVID. Lanzini will be playing back in the hole. Fornells will be on the left instead of Vlasic. It'll be a very different team.
Yeah. Well, it won't be a very different team. We've got the least changed starting 11 in the entire Premier League.
No, I think it'll be a very different team. I think you'll see Zuma in for Diop, right? So that'll be a change at the back. I think Soufal and Cresswell will stay there. I think you'll definitely see Souček and Rice back in the middle, Lanzini in front of them, Fornells on the left, and Bowen on the right.
Would you risk Zuma at this point in that game, or would you give him an extra week?
Apparently he's fit, so I'd put him back in. We need him. Okay. We need him. I don't think Diop can play another game. I wouldn't like to see Diop, and I wouldn't like to see that defence playing away at Old Trafford with Bruno Fernandes running on them and potentially Ronaldo.
Mason Greenwood, take your pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to see that. We need to be solid next week, or we could get embarrassed. I know Man United ain't. I know Man United ain't that great, but look, Leeds didn't have to be that great today, right? That's what I'm saying.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Leeds were very good today. I genuinely did. With a decimated team, you can argue all you want that we made them look better. But genuinely, I think today, and Chris put it in the chat, and he's 100% right. They were by far, they were the most intense team that I've seen us play against.
Yeah. There's a big shout out for Nigel's website, 6foot2.co.uk. Get along there and join up.
That's it. Right.
So I think we've done this to death, haven't we?
Yeah, I can't talk about it anymore. I mean, we're not, and this is the last we're going to speak about it. We're not one of those channels that's going to make a bloody loads of videos on the defeat. We're not going to do that.
We're never going to mention this ever again, and I'm not going to watch Match of the Day tonight or anything.
No,
so let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Thank you, John. Thank you, Nick. Thanks to you all for watching. And for those who are interacted in the chat, if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. We'll be back next Friday for the Friday night booze up. And there is no football this week. So what are we going to do? We've got no weekday football. We get a rest. The players get a rest.
I know.
We can just talk about transfer nonsense instead, right? So until next Friday, See you soon, and come on, you Irons.
Here you ends.
Still fourth. Come on.